Gunner's Vault is brought to you by Precision Coating, specializing in Duracoatings and other firearms finishes. High Brass Firearm Training Concealed Carry classes, teaching the knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to protect yourself. And by Savoy Custom Leather Holsters. To find out more about these products and services, go to acadianagunworks.com.
Unfortunately, not everyone can own a machine gun like this. There's certain rules you gotta live by. It sucks, but it's the truth. There's also licensing and a little bit of skill. Believe it or not, we got both. Welcome to the Gunner's Vault. Yeah, I got an MP44. This is an original MP44 built off a single saw cut kit. This is rapidly becoming my favorite firearm of all time. I really like the German weapons. MG42, MG34 is my favorite. I ain't gonna lie. But this thing is just so far ahead of its time when it came out. It's ridiculous. One thing you're gonna notice: the finish on the gun, Parkerized. The finish on the mag, blued. This is a repo mag. Now this is the problem with your modern day MP44s, repo mags. These things require some modification to get them to actually work correctly. The only problem with the originals, they're hard to find and they're $400 a pop. Yeah, $400 for a mag. We went with the $100 repo. Just did the work on it, made it work. Listen to the sound of this thing. That's satisfying. Nothing really sounds like that. AKs are close, but AKs are kind of like that. And not pretty wimpy. This has got balls. This thing is awesome. A lot of people say, "Oh, this is the grandfather to the AK." No. No, 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 no. There are some similarities. One, yeah, it's gas operated. Has a long gas piston. But the problem is the AK-47 has a rotating bolt to lock. This has a drop-down bolt to lock. It's more like the SKS than it is the AK-47. Now here's one thing though. The guy who had the hand on this is Hugo Schmeischer. He had the, he helped design it. Let's just go there. Hugo Schmeischer was captured by the Russians. He was in the same plant that Mikhail Gorbachev. Oh no. Not Gorbachev. Well, Gorbachev might have been there, but Kalashnikov was there. And who else was there? Hugo Schmeischer. So who do you think came up with the AK-47? The guy who was all of a sudden poof came up with an AK-47, or the guy who designed this? Yeah, figure that out. All right, so check this out. MP44. Little history on it. The MKB42H was made by Hanel. I think that's the right pronunciation. And it was similar to this, but pretty different. It was an open bolt weapon. This is a closed bolt weapon. A couple other similarities, a couple other differences, but basically that's the one they chose. They also had another one in the running, the MKB42W, which was made by Walther. Now they incorporated some parts from Walther and some parts from Hanel, and came out with the MP43, which followed on to the MP44, basically the same thing. Then came the STG-44, and they were coming out with the STG-45. They were doing production with, not production, but they were doing prototyping with it when the war ended. Alright, now let's get into this thing. You'll notice it's gas, well, you won't notice it's gas operated unless you really know things, but y'all are smart, so you probably do. So you'll notice it's gas operated. Up here is where your gas piston is, long gas piston, reciprocating charging handle on the carrier. The bolt tilts down to lock. Pretty straightforward bolt, extractor and stuff, and I'll go through it here in a minute. This is one of the great things about it. Check this out. The ergonomics on this thing are unreal. This is one of the most comfortable guns I've ever shouldered up. You put your face up to it, it goes right into this divot, and it aligns right with the sights, and you are there. This thing is awesome. If you ever get the chance to shameless plug, we carry them. The STG44s made by ATI in 22 are pretty damn close to this. There's a couple little differences. One, it's, not 7.92 by 33, which kind of sucks. Well, not that much because it's $1 a round. But the stock is shaped a little differently, so you don't quite get that cheek weld you do with this one. But let me tell you, this one is just stupid comfortable. Back to ergonomics. Right here, you'll notice this little push button. This is how you control semi and full. This is Einfeuer. This is the D word in German. I can't pronounce Feuer. It means full auto. So you got semi, full. And you got your safety right there. So, you come up, you're on fire, you're on semi, you're on full, you're there. I mean, this is like the AR-15 of ergonomics in World War II. This is just awesome. I mean, I cannot say enough about this thing. It fires an intermediate cartridge, which at the time everybody was using full-size battle cartridges, 30-06, 8mm, full-size 8mm. One thing they wanted to do, 7.62 54R, they did have the 30 cal carbine, but that was a little underpowered. One thing they wanted to do was they figured out that most ranges where combat was happening was about 300 to 400 meters. So they wanted something that was effective 200 to 400 meters. The 8mm round that the Germans were using was great at long ranges. I mean, you could reach out and tap somebody with it, which sucked because it was Americans, but you could reach out and do it. The thing was, it was a little too much, and you couldn't get rounds out real quick in it. They had the G43s, which came later on, but firing unless it's an FG42, firing a full-size 8mm round in something, you're going to get some muzzle climb in it. You're going to get a lot of muzzle climb in it. The intermediate cartridge was designed to negate all of that. It's basically full-size 8mm, 7.92 by 57, meaning the case is 57 millimeters long. The intermediate cartridge is 7.92 by 33 millimeters, which means the case is 33 millimeters long. Look on my bench, on my toolbox, there's actually a 7.92 by 33. Look on the toolbox, around the lid. Yeah, and hand me one of those empty 8mm cases as well. Got some assistance here. Thanks, guys. Alright, I don't know how well y'all can see this. This is a full-size 8mm case. It's actually fired out of an an MG42, so it's dented. As you can see, it ejects the crap out of it. This is the complete 8mm by 33 round. Look at the size difference. This thing, I mean, there's a big difference between the two. This is basically a 300 blackout in its ballistics. This is a 300 blackout 60, 70 years ago, before anybody even thought of it. Now, we stuck with the full-size battle rounds in 308 for a long damn time. Other countries like the USSR, what it turned into, they went to 7.62 by 39, an intermediate cartridge. It took us till the introduction of the AR-15, or the M16, excuse me, the M16 to fire the 223, which is an intermediate cartridge. It took us a long damn time to do this, and it's the mainstay of the battlefield right now. It's the one everybody goes to. Now, admittedly, there's 223 versus 7.62 by 39. There's boxing there. It's like 9 mil times 45. You're never going to win the argument. Each one has its good points. Each one has its bad points. This right here, this started it. This is the first one. This weapon was designed around this cartridge. Incidentally, one other weapon fired this cartridge. Care to guess what it is? Care to guess what it is? Well, I'll tell you what it is. The FAL, an FAL actually prototype, was designed in 7mm or 8mm Kurs. That's cool stuff. Alright, I'm going to put that round over there. Keep it away from the weapon. We're still clear. Alright, check it out, guys. Let's get into this thing. Push button, which was reminiscent of what? H&K, Heckler & Koch. Another German weapons design. They came up with a bunch of stuff. So I think it's the, don't quote me on this, but I think either the Garrett 06, which was a prototype, or the STG45, which was a prototype, had the roller locking system, delayed blowback roller locking system, like the HKs do, like the Setmes do. And those guys who designed that weapon went to Spain, designed the Setme, which followed on into the HK. Heckler & Koch bought the design rights and blah, 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 blah. We now have H&Ks, the 91 series, 93 series. Alright, so I took the buttstock off. You'll notice the spring, pretty stout spring. You know, it's pretty reminiscent of an MG34 spring, and it looks like you could use any old spring, but, well, I had to buy this one from Poland. There's not a lot out there. You'll notice right here it tapers downwards, and it tapers downwards. Why did they do that? Because that way you'd have to buy the springs from Poland. Yeah, so $10 spring, $30 shipping, brand new MP44 spring. This is cool, this is cool. It pivots down. This is something I don't really like about the MP44, but you know, there's not many things like it. The internals are riveted in place. You can't just pop a pin out and say inspect your hammer or something like that. You have to actually, you know, get rid of a rivet, drill it out, pop it out, and man, this thing's a mess. There's a lot of stuff going on in here, and I don't really know a lot about it because I haven't been able to take it apart because it's all riveted in place. Believe me, nobody wants to take it apart more than me, but I just can't. There is some stuff going on here I'm going to show y'all in close-up, but you know, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's go ahead and pull out our bolt and our carrier. This is cool, this is cool. 2 pieces, bolt and carrier. Let's put this on the side here. There we go. Bolt and carrier. There you go. Let's concentrate on the bolt first off. The bolt on an MP44. Free floating firing pin. Kind of like an AK. The weird thing about this, the firing pin is a triangle. You look at it head on or tail on, it's a triangle. Never seen a firing pin quite like that. There's no pins that hold it in. There's no nothing like that. It just sits in there and goes pow, 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 pow. Damn it. Pew, 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 pew. Which incidentally, the firing rate is about pew, 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 pew. Just, you know, for your own edification. Extractor. This one was shot to bejesus when we got it, the kit. So we had to do some mods to the extractor, mainly on the bolt underneath. But it works now, so it was cool. You got this long groove. That's where your ejector goes. The ejector stays still, and of course your bolt goes back and forth. Alright, carrier. Start off with a gas piston. This whole thing is your gas piston. I don't know why they have this many, call it fins in there. Why they have this many in there, but the Germans said, hey man, we need this many, so they made this many. So, and it works, so I'm not going to, tell them no. Charging handle, it's basically riveted in place. It was made for expedient manufacture. It's not a big machined weapon. It's mostly stamped, except for, of course, these parts. They have a firing pin extension in here, which y'all probably can't see, but it's right here in this round part, and you can see it coming back and forth. The hammer, it's hammer fired, comes up, hits the firing pin extension, which your firing pin is going to be back a little bit because the round has contacted and pushed it back 1/16 of an inch. Your hammer comes up, hits that firing pin extension in the carrier, which in turn hits a firing pin, which pew, sends you around downrange. There's not a lot to it. There is one cool thing about this. You'll notice this little shoulder right here. It's flat and then an angle. That little angle sits down, it comes forward and sits down in the trunnion of the weapon. That locks it. That's how it locks. So your headspace is determined by your barrel sitting back and forth between your bolt and your trunnion. Basically, you want to get it tight, and well, this kind of sucks. It's not the best way to do things, but you're not going to find an 8mm by 33 headspace gauge. So what you do, you take a live round, take your firing pin out. Again, you want to do this in a tank. This isn't the greatest way to do things, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You can make a dummy round out of it, which is preferable, but seating it back, you kind of get some squishiness out of the case. So you put a round in there, firing pin out, put your barrel in the tank, and go ahead and put your barrel so it locks up your bolt, tighten your trunnion. That's how you headspace it. The thing is, you put a little piece of tape or two, masking tape, on the end of your bullet, excuse me, on the end of your cartridge to get a no-go. Take it off to get a go. It's a little trick, man. Not a lot of people tell you they do that, but sometimes you got to do that, and sometimes people do. All right, let's go back to the receiver here. This is permanently attached. The lower is permanently attached. It's riveted on there. So, you know, it's kind of cool. You're not going to lose it in combat. You know, oh crap, where's my lower? You know, or I guess they say something like, oh, it's Wiedersehen lower or something like that, because they can't find it. I think that's German for I can't find my lower. I don't know. What else? What else is cool about this? They have a pin right here that holds your barrel in. It would be embarrassing if you didn't have this pin, because you'd shoot it a couple times, your barrel might fall out. You know, that would be embarrassing. Incidentally, another little history thing about this, Hitler did not want this type of rifle. He didn't want another battle rifle at all. He was happy with the K98. It wasn't the brightest bulb out there. He wanted another machine pistol. Well, all the reports coming back from the people in the field were like, this thing is the greatest thing since sliced bread. We want more. The MP43, at the time, the MP43 was like, give us more. We want more. So they said, okay. Well, you know, Hitler said no, but the troops said yes, and you know, fuck Hitler. Troops won. So they went with this, and they called it the MP44, Machine Pistol 44, which is, you know, basically machine pistol, you know, submachine gun, blah, blah, blah. And they were able to trick Hitler for a little while. Eventually, he found out about it, and probably did, you know, I don't know, a bunch of this stuff, and you know, this and in German, and got really pissed off. But then he shot it, and he was like, oh crap, this thing's cool. All right, we'll go ahead and make a bunch of these. So they called it the STG 44, Sturmgewehr 44, which literally translates to Storm Rifle 44, which is what we translated it kind of weirdly into assault rifle. And that's how you get assault rifle today. Now, assault rifle, your definition of assault rifle includes these things. One, has to be full auto. This one's full auto. It can be select fire. Most of them are, but you know, your main thing is full auto. Two, intermediate cartridge. This is it. First one. Three, rifle. You know, if it's a pistol, obviously it's not a rifle. Those are your big three things. You know, rifle, intermediate cartridge, and full auto. Like your AR-15s of today, your civilian rifles, are not assault rifles. No, 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 no. Your AKs, not assault rifles. None of them are fully automatic. They do fire an intermediate cartridge, but they are not fully automatic. So, you know, take that to the bank. Anybody says, oh, look at my AR-15 assault rifle, go ahead and go, oh, cool. And then kick them in the nuts, because they're fucking wrong. All right, check this out. You see this little tube right here? Or not a little tube, but a little spur with a ball on the end of it? Don't know what the hell it does. If any of you people out there watching this video know what this is, by all means, email me, call me, whatever. Let me know, because I'm curious as hell. It's always there, and it's always bent. So whatever it is, I guess they use it for a lot of leverage. Incidentally, the muzzle on this is threaded. They have a little barrel nut, which is cool. From what I understand, I'm not sure about this, but from what I understand, it's threaded for grenade launcher. Yeah, it seems kind of silly, but you know, that's what I heard. They did make some wild things for this. One was a barrel that basically, well, it came in different angles, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, that you'd mount on here, clamp on, and you'd shoot, I kid you not, you'd shoot at an angle. There's a couple problems with it. It wore out really quickly, as you might imagine. And, you know, it's just kind of silly. But one of the things they'd use it for is, you know, you're in your tank, you're cruising in your Panzer, yeah, you're in Russia, da da da. The partisans suddenly, you know, come on your tank and they're sticking stuff to it, you're about ready to blow it up, and you're like, oh crap, I'm in my tank, what am I going to do? Oh, no. Well, you stick your little 30-degree muzzle device on here, stick it out your, you turret a little bit and go boom, boom, and hopefully you get the partisans before they get you in your little tank, and then you can press on through the step. But, you know, who knows. Another thing they made that was really cool, and I don't know the German word for it, is the vampire system. This is, as far as I know, the first operational IR scope. Yeah, it's huge. It's badass. So that's basically it, man. I mean, this thing is awesome. It's amazing. It's a great piece of equipment, and I've been wanting to share it with y'all for a while, but I finally got my hands on one, and the next step is going to shoot it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put this together in a minute, but first I'm going to go that way because they're telling me I have to wrap it up here. So I'm going to go over here and cut. I'll put it together, then we'll be at the range. MP44, I love this thing. Look, I know you're the director of marketing, but we've got to get the word out about these shirts. Look, I know we can find them online. Everybody can find them online. That's what I mean. We really got to get the word out that people can find them there, and they're easy to get. And hell, it's a great shirt. Hello, hello. You even listening?